welcome to the March 25, 2024 meeting of the Library Board. We will be waiting 15 minutes until the Library Board has a quorum. Thank you. Hello. So we've waited 15 minutes, and we do not have a quorum. We will be doing items, non-action items of the agenda. Only those will be addressed this evening. So, again, welcome to the March 25th, 2024 meeting of the Library Board. I will call the roll. Maria Fisk.
Present.
Lakshmi Rao. Kayla Scott. Eileen Speaker.
Here.
Kim Ryan Unidad.
Here.
Ishana Datusalia. Thank you. And will Board Member Speaker lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And I will read the procedures for addressing the Library Board today. Citizens addressing the board during public comment are asked to approach the podium and are limited to 3 minutes unless extended by the chair, and must be regarding items that are not listed on the agenda and are with the city's jurisdiction. The Brown Act does not permit any action or discussion on items not listed on the agenda. No action will be taken on items addressed under public comments. I will now open public comments. All right, seeing none. So we will be skipping items 5.1 and 5.2 on the agenda due to lack of quorum. We will move on to item 6.2, Library Technology Update.
Marissa, I just want to clarify, you mentioned we were skipping items 5.1 and 5.2, but just for the record, I think we're skipping 5.1 and 6.1.
Yes,
Okay,
you are
just wanted to
absolutely right.
clarify.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. All right, Library Technology Update.
Okay, thank you. Good evening. I'm Chris Rohde, Library Supervisor. I'm here tonight to provide an update on our Library Automation Refresh project. As you might recall, the Automation Refresh project replaces and upgrades the automated materials handling equipment at all 3 libraries. That includes the self-checks, security gates, book returns, and the sorters. And there is some minor construction associated with moving a pony wall at MyDo and retrofitting the openings for the returns at the other locations and MyDo. And in addition to that, the project will include a smartphone application for patrons. Right here you can see the new self-check or new self-loan stations. They were installed in December at all 3 locations. The format varies between the tabletop models that you see there and some standalone kiosks. And I really like the large screen format. I don't know if you can tell from the picture, but it's a big screen. It has really friendly little animations that kind of pull people in. And they're actually have a really fast processing speed, so they're nice and quick. That lighted screen around there that's blue in the picture almost looks purple. It glows indicating the machine status, such as low paper or there's a jam or something. And that means from a distance, the staff will see the color and they can just go and intervene without having to have a customer come to them. And in addition, all of the staff, all of the self-loan stations accept credit card payments for fines. And here you see the new gates that are installed at the downtown location. MyDo and Riley are similar, except that they have 2 pedestals instead of 3. They're slightly narrower. Installation of the new gates was completed in February, and they're fully operational. Upgrading the gates was required in order to enable the new self-check application that we'll be pushing out once we get it completed and tested. And some of the schedule, I should mention, is flexible because it is involving construction. We've already had things change. However, in early March at MyDo, we removed and remodeled the interior wall. In late March, we'll be opening, actually, that's the one that's been moved to April, doing the exterior opening to keep that available for returns as long as possible. And then the week of April 15th, we'll be installing the new induction and sorter, both internal and external. That's an addition. The outside never had an induction and sorter before. It was just a drop. I think I have pictures. Yes. Okay, so this is the old front desk that you might remember. The return was on the left side, and it faced the adult side of the library, and the sorter was parallel to the desk. The limited space there meant that the sorter had only 3 sort bins, and now 7 will fit with the new orientation, which I will show you here. As you can see, that's the rough opening for the new return facing forward, and we moved the wall 4 feet to the left so that we could provide enough room for the return and also add those additional sort spots, which will save on staff time. All right. And of course, this is the old drop at Maidu, which is going to be replaced. It's going to look similar to the front desk. This old system that we had before only checked the materials in. Like I said, it did not sort anything, and it just, on long weekends, the books literally had to fall onto the floor on an exercise mat, and then they were sorted by hand. This one on the left is similar to what this new Bookmatic drop will look like, similar to the other returns we have now. But Mighty will now have one of those on the outside, which it did not before. On the right is more of what our internal will look like, except they'll have a different finish. So at downtown, we actually started today. They already removed the induction. And if you were to return books there today, you would realize there's a plywood panel blocking the holes. They're going to be retrofitting those openings this week. And then on April 8th, during that week, we'll be installing the new equipment. At Martha Riley, we have the induction removal scheduled for the 15th, and then retrofit the 16th through the 26th, and the installation at the end of the month. So essentially, we'll move on to the next slide. Oh, I wanted to show you what the Riley external drops look like. If you notice, and I'll get to my notes here, if you notice, the picture on the right shows the bins that fall into something. It's a little hard to see in the picture, but it falls into like a big bin, and then it gets de-shingled. So the books get pulled apart slowly, and then they're sorted by the system. This way, customers can just drop their materials in all at once. They don't have to slip them in one at a time, because the volume at Riley is high, and it's only going to get higher. So the next steps, essentially, like I said, this was written before we removed it, was removal of material here, or equipment here at downtown, and then Martha Riley, retrofitting all those openings, and then installing the inductions and sorters, which should be finished by early May. And all involves construction and technology, so there's an asterisk there. And I think that's all I have for this evening.
I'd like to open this to the board for comment.
I'll comment. I'm just happy about this upgrade. It's befitting a future gold, what you call that, recognition awardee. Thank you.
Thank you for the update. It all sounds great.
All right. And I'll open this up to public comment. And seeing none, next is on the agenda is item 6.3, Roseville Reads.
I'd like to provide the board this evening with a quick update on our Roseville Reads program. This was our grant-funded program made possible by the Friends of the Roseville Public Library. The title, each of you have a card here. The title of our book is A Psalm for the Wild-Built by Becky Chambers. That's a Hugo Award-winning author from here in California. We are really excited about all the programs that we have happening in conjunction with the book. We do have multiple copies of the print, e-audio, and e-book, so we still have print copies available in each of our 3 libraries, and then online either in the Libby app, Hoopla, or the Cloud Library. So lots of locations to find that electronically if you need that. But we do have some exciting programs for adults and teens coming up in April and then some into May. The first is a series of tea ceremonies that are being put on by the Temple Kukuri from Sacramento. And they're doing traditional tea ceremonies and informal tea ceremonies at both the Riley and the Maidu libraries. We also have several guided hikes being partnered with Placer Land Trust. They're now available on the Placer Land Trust website for registration. And there's a little tab you can click if you're registering through your participation in Roseville Reads. And then we also have 4 classes at Blue Line Arts, 2 for adults and 2 for teens, that will be bringing a concept and theme from the book into the art that you'll be creating and taking with you. And then finally, we have book discussion groups for teens and for adults as well. All of these programs are free to the public. You can either register for our programs through our active website, or you can register directly at the Placer Land Trust website or at the Blue Line Arts website if you're interested in any of those free classes as well. And that's, I think, we're really pleased with the amount of checkouts that we have for all the copies of the books. If you want the ebook, there's a big waiting list on it on Libby, but it is available without waiting on the Cloud Library or Hoopla. So if you see that there's a list on Libby, you can check out one of our other online resources for that. And then there are still multiple copies available in print at each of the locations. And so we encourage you to sign up for the free classes and enjoy a lot of the themes from the book. And I'm happy to take any questions about that program.
Opening up to the board for comment.
I just have a comment. It's nice to see that I was there when the Friends of Library was just planning to do this Roseville Read with this specific book. It was during the Friends of Library meeting in downtown, somewhere, I think, if I remember it correctly, December or January. So it's nice to see that it's happening. Mm-hmm. And I'm happy that the Friends of Library and the Library Department of the City of Roseville are always in synergy and working hand in hand with this, because I believe that I've been telling my kids all along that, you know, leaders are readers, so we have to start with this, so that's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
So you said formal and informal tea ceremonies. So if you just go to register for the tea ceremonies, does it say which of those times are formal versus informal?
Yes, and it gives the description for each of the tea ceremonies. And then the same with the Placer Land Trust. They have different hikes. Okay. One is a wildflower hike. And again, those are at their properties that you normally would not have access to. So it's a good way to go and enjoy that hike. And you can make a donation for Placer Land Trust as well if you wish to do that, but all the programs are free.
Okay. This is just fun.
I just want to say thank you, Natasha, for making this happen. It's really exciting. We've been talking about it for a few years now,
Right?
so it's really cool to see it and hold it in your hand. And I've read the book. It's really different and probably something I never would have picked up, so I encourage everyone to check it out. And I registered for the book discussion on April 24th, so hope to see some fellow board members in attendance.
That would be awesome.
And I'll open this up to public comment. All right, seeing none. Next on the agenda is item 6.4, Libraries and Culture Report.
Okay, just a quick report for you all this evening, a few items. I did want to let everyone know that we have finally concluded our search for our new cultural arts supervisor and are pleased that we have now Annie Stanko on board in that position. She just started in that role last week. Annie was already an employee with the city of Roseville, and we're really excited to have her in the new role. She has a history of programming and events and fundraising. She'll be based out of the Mighty Museum and Historic Site and will be overseeing that facility and the programs and events there, as well as any signature cultural arts events, camps and classes, and public art installations that we'll be doing in that division. So we're really pleased to have her on board, and she's already working on her first project, which I'll talk about, which is sending out a call to artists for Children's Arts Center mural. And so the Children's Arts Center is a building that is in Royer Park next to the bandstand. It's right next to the large picnic area. There's what we call the snack shack, and then what we're calling the Children's Arts Center, that we haven't used that building for many years. And so one of the goals is to activate that space eventually with some camps in there and some programs. And right now that exterior of that building needs some love and some beautification. And so that will be one mural that we hope to get installed. We'll select the artist sometime in May and have that installed by the end of the summer. And so that will enhance the beauty of Royer Park as a destination park in the city of Roseville in that gateway area. We do have a brand-new playground that would be adjacent to that, as well as the Kings basketball court that's right there. So a lot of energy into really making Royer Park a place for families. And we are also excited to be bringing back our Yeoman Spring Celebration at the Mighty Museum Historic Site. We have not had that event in 5 years. Prior to that, we had that annually at the museum. We had anywhere between 700 and 2,500 visitors, depending on the year. So we're excited to really bring that back since COVID and since our staffing is improved, working in partnership with our Native Advisory Committee in bringing that event back to the community. And so we expect that to be a really big turnout and a really important celebration that we share with our Native partners. I did find out today that the Roseville Library has not been chosen as a finalist for the Institute of Museum and Library Services National Medal. Again, we don't have any more information about the application or why we weren't chosen. We do know that the finalists will be announced later this spring, so we'll be able to look at the list then and kind of, see what their libraries are doing and kind of compare that. We're really proud of the work that our staff do. We cannot say enough good things about the creativity, the energy, the innovation, whether it's programs or technology or just giving our customers what they want and need. And so I, again, couldn't be more proud of the work that our library system is doing. If the IMLS doesn't recognize that or not, we know that we're doing an awesome job. And then finally, another exciting funded item by the Friends of the Library. We are in the process of ordering a permanent story walk. And so I don't know if you all have seen our temporary story walks that we've put around in parks, but basically you go with your family and there's laminated pages of a story and you walk through a trail and you kind of read the story at each location. We are installing permanent story walk in Maidu Park. So the trail that goes through the park behind the elementary school and the fields, that is the location that we will be ordering those. So basically they're nice metal permanent signage that we will be able to change out the story either once a month or once a quarter, and families can go through and do that trail in the park and have the story walk in there. So we're really excited that the Friends are funding that. It'll be nice, permanent, interpretive signage that we'll have there. And then with the hopes of adding story walks to more of our city parks in the future. We've been working with park development and park maintenance to select appropriate locations, and I think that they're really excited to add that, potentially even in our open space trails. But if this goes well, that might be a good first run, and then we can add more throughout the city. So, and I'm happy to answer any questions about any of those new programs or services.
And with that, I'll open it up the board for comment.
Okay. Go ahead.
Well, I recognize all of the work that you've done, and I think everyone on the board will agree that you do a fantastic job, and just keep on applying, and someday the rest of the world will reward you for all your work. I have a couple of questions. What is the Yeoman celebration? Do you have like a quick overview of it? I've never heard of it.
Yes, and so that's a gathering, a spring celebration of our tribal partners. So we honor the native elders of the Mighty Onisanan cultures. We have tribal dancers, we have tribal crafters, nonprofit booths, food, music, family activities, crafts for children, trail tours, and things of that name. And it's from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. on April 27th.
And then the permanent story walk, did you have a date on when that might be completed?
I don't know. We're just now in the process of ordering the actual signage.
Okay.
And so park maintenance probably will install that sometime, maybe late spring, early summer.
Okay. I think that is such a neat idea. You guys are all very creative, very fun. Thank you.
So I know that we didn't get it, but for me, in my heart, we're all a gold awardee because it's kind of corny. But I remember Robin Williams in a movie saying something like, science and technology gives us a way to live, but it's arts and culture that gives us something to live for. And for us in the library department and the board and commission, what we live for is to serve our people with our library services with exceptional service. So the awards will come later, but you don't need validation from us. You already had it from the start. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'd like to open this to public comment. All right, seeing none. Thank you. Moving on to the next section. It is, do we have a motion to adjourn?
I move that we adjourn.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The March 25th, 2024 Library Board meeting is adjourned at 6:39 p.m. Thank you.